Hi, this is Freya from Otherworldly. Today I'm at the beautiful Willows of Nienna sim, of course at the Fantasy Fair, and I'm going to be showing you a really nifty HUD. It is from Mythril, who makes a lot of animations for various horse avatars. There are animations both for the water horse, rideable horses, and also for the teagle horse avatar. And there are a couple of sets of animations and HUDs for human avatars. This one is a new release, and it immediately caught my attention as it was called the Roleplay HUD, and I've got it down here in the corner. So what this is a very nifty collection of poses. Plus, there are two tabs here. So here you have a selection of poses, and I'm going to show you a bunch of them. And on the second tab, you have various modifications to the head, your arms, either left, right, or both, and to just the hands, as obviously it is bento compatible and everything. And this leads to a massive amount of different combinations that you can make with this. And what I think is so nifty about this is that often when I do fantasy and roleplay photography, model poses aren't quite the right thing. Sometimes they work. It depends entirely on the type of shot, but often you're trying to set a bit of a scene, and you might want somebody who's looking like they're interacting with an object. They're looking at something, so they're more action poses, but not necessarily sword swinging action poses. I feel like there is a little bit of a market there that isn't much explored in SL pose making. There's obviously animations, but sometimes you want very little movement or even a static pose, because you can get all these sexy poses, you can get all these modeling poses, and you can get a lot of nice action poses, but sort of everyday actions. And this is where this HUD comes in. There's now not all of these poses are going to work great with a dress. I was trying to find some clothing from the new releases at the Fantasy Fair which would work, but I didn't actually come across any like leather pants and top or anything like that for female avatars. I'll need to have a second look, but I decided instead to go with this lovely dress and coat combination from Stitched, and also one of the hairs from Wasabi for the Fantasy Fair. This is actually the male hair called Draco, and both the male and the female hair come in a regular and a wind-blown version, and this is also the wind-blown. I quite like the little strands there giving some motion around the face. But anyway, back to the HUD. So it can be a little difficult to make out. There are some little faces here basically indicating the emotion of when you're doing something. So for example, here we are wounded. So obviously you can see this is not necessarily something for a dress, and I ended up investing parts of me so that I wouldn't be showing off too much. But you can see that it would look nice from the side here, for example. And if you're wearing pants, it would work perfectly from the front as well. And then we have also a wounded standing up pose, like holding to your chest like that. We have a curled up seated position like that, or we have a fetal position on the side, a little timid pose, a little shy little sit like that. Or maybe you have done something grievously wrong and you need to prostrate yourself. Well, there you have a pose for that. Perhaps you're being attacked and you need to shield yourself. Sort of a classic type of pose, really. Really like how that one is executed. Let's see, where are we? We are on that. Or maybe you've been tied up by your enemies and left hogtied on the ground. Well, you've got the pose for that. You might also be kneeling. Obviously, a lot of, you can get a lot of kneeling poses, but they tend to be in various more or less sexual sets. So it's nice to have one that doesn't necessarily have that implication. Or perhaps you need to do a bit of praying, or begging, sorry. And then we get up again. A nice point. I mean, this is such a basic, nice pose that sometimes you really need to have around. Hands on hips. That, and give me one with arms crossed. Actually, I think there is one with arms crossed on your chest as well. And, a braid tugging pose, and you've got your basic Wheel of Time female going there. These I really like. This is a very nice, classy bow. Here's an upright bow. And a curtsy. Let's look at that. Perfect for your dresses. Then there are some that are a little more actiony that, are hard to show without the right, but I am pushing at something here. So you could put that up against the wall. Obviously, you might want to use a post ball if you're going to do a set here and just use it like that. And I'm pushing so hard that my feet have disappeared into the ground. Here's the praying one. The other one was the begging, right? So, and another super handy, basic little thing. Need to look at something on the ground. Perfect. Or maybe pick some flowers. Just look at that. And then we have another variant on a kneel. And then we have a couple of leans. We have a side lean against the wall. Actually, that was a ground sit the previous year. It's a little slow to update. And you have a lean backwards against the wall. This is, again, handy. A counter lean. Obviously, depends on your height and the height of the counter, how well it's going to work. But, yeah, this is also something I found myself sometimes thinking, this would be a good set to have, or this would be a good scene to do. Foot tapping. I mean, hands crossed, arms crossed on your chest, and foot tapping. Perfect. And just the right expression for it there too. And where are we here? And then we have this, if you need to protect someone else. And then finally, some more lying down poses. So you have this, where you've been knocked over and seem to be breathing rather heavily here. So that one might just be a little useful for something naughty too. Or you could be unconscious. Should probably not do anything naughty then. Sleeping. And drinking. At first, when I got that one as a drink, I thought somebody was drunk and kind of fallen over. And okay, you're supposed to be drinking from a stream or something. So I will switch back to the hands on hips because that's a good basic one to use for this. I'll get in a little closer. Like that. And I will go to the second tab. So here you can start modifying your head position, for example. Maybe you want to look away like that, but haughtily like that. Or perhaps you want to put your hand in your pocket. Well, not that this has pockets. So maybe we should put your hand up on your head and salute someone. Or maybe wave to them. Cover your mouth. I'm just going to show some of these for one hand, and then you can cover yourself up if you need. Put the arm to the side. A lot of this you could do with something like the Animare pose adjustment system, but that can be fiddly sometimes. This has some nice basic positions to sort of like a quick go to, because I mean you have the various hand pose HUDs and things, and yes, you can individually tweak everything, and that's great when you need the very specific things. But sometimes this is going to be covering what you need. So there, don't come here, and be a good girl and raise your hand in class. And there you could hold a book. Obviously here it doesn't provide the props, but if you have a wine glass or a book or anything, beer, mug, a staff, a basket, what else do we have here? A basket like that. You know, these would take time to set up, so having somebody who's actually done that for you is pretty nice. And here you've got your arms crossed. Or why not put them in front of you like that, lacing your fingers, or behind your back. Also having your wrists tied behind your back, basically. Maybe you're holding your elbow for some reason. Put your hands behind your head. Little face palm. Well, that's actually the proper face palm. A double-sided face palm wasn't. Or you could do that if you're not so happy with someone. Another wrist lock position, and one in front. What you've also got, I think I'll do something that is an easy position for this. If you put your hand like that, and maybe I'll put one down. I'll put one down like that, and then we can see some variations on the hand poses. You know, obviously if you have the slink hands, you have a bunch of hand poses already, but you know, if you've already got this HUD on, you might just want to use some of these to just quickly do some basic adjustments and of common positions. So that is the Mythril role-playing HUD. I believe it's a new release, and I think it said in the stall here at the Fantasy Fair that it is at a promo price right now. So if you are interested in this, you probably want to give it a look. Actually, you can combine here as well, as you can see different head animation angles and such to get both upwards and backwards and all of this, and then you can just go like that to reset it again. And here in the back you could do a stop all. So this is quite a nice HUD, I think, for a role player, and definitely something I think you should check out. And there are some other nice HUDs in there as well, and if you have the horse avatars, there's certainly a lot to choose from. And I do have one of those, so I may just have to be back and check what was new for those. I think it was mostly water horse this time around, sadly, but I'll see what's available for the Teagle horse as well. I'm going to finish off by showing you the variant of this hair as well as the other hair from Wasabi to show you the full Fantasy Faire collection from the brand. So I'll close down this HUD for now and zoom myself in to give you a better look at the hair. Which of course as usual gives me a slightly different lighting, but that should be fine, I think. So what we've got here is, I'm going to go to Wasabi, and as you can see I am wearing the Draco in Windblown, and I'm going to switch to the regular Draco, which just basically has the strands straight down, and this is technically the male hair, so I think you can see that it is a little bit big in the back for me, but it really isn't that bad. It works pretty well. If you are a very petite female avatar, you might notice that it is a little far from your back, basically, but the head fit is just fine. This is on the Vista Zoe head. This time I'm wearing the Solo supplier from Alaska Metro, which I think works really well on it. And then we have the Mayra head, and again I think we'll start with the Windblown, which has that look basically. It's straight hair and it's a little blown out over the shoulder like that. And I'll cam around as well and give you a look at the back of this one too. As you can see, this is a female fit, and then male avatars would have the same problem, that it would there would dig into them basically. And finally we have the regular version of the Mera hair. So that one just has less of those strands on the side, but the back is the same. So I think also I will conclude by showing you the HUD for the stitched piece that I'm wearing while I am videoing anyway. So basically there is a HUD first of all for the coat as well. This one simply controls the darkness of it, basically giving you an easy way to tint it lighter or darker. I think I had something in the mid-range here basically. Something like that perhaps. And then we have the dress HUD. So you buy this, you get the dress in all colors, but you pick which color of the coat you want. Whereas the dress, you get several options here as soon as the HUD rests, which might take a little while in this laggy sim, of course, or there's a lot of people rather here. So here you've got your choices, and you've also got the option to darken these manually. The base is, I think the base was white, and then you can go darker or lighter as you prefer. Go with this purple here, you can go quite light, or you can go very dark. Obviously you lose a little bit of detail when you just add on top like that, but that gives it quite a lot of versatility in terms of the tinting, and I think that's pretty common for the stitch pieces, that there tends to be a tinting HUD, which is a nice idea. You can of course wear the dress on its own, and I suppose technically you could wear the coat on its own as well, but then you're going to be pretty naughty, as you can see. But the dress works nicely. So that would be about it for this video. I will probably be back with some more, certainly vlogs, and maybe a couple of vlogs as well. I'll see what else is interesting to do as a video, and perhaps I will finish off by just zooming out and giving you a little bit more of a look at the Willows of Nienna, which is a really beautiful sim. Here you got this statue at the center, basically, where I'm standing, and there is somebody having an absolutely gigantic avatar, which obviously is being rendered as a jelly doll for me, because that was just a bit more than I had my system set to. Was there a flying avatar in the background as well? No, okay, that's the dragon on the other sim, so you'll definitely want to visit this one, I think, and have a look around. It's quite beautiful and tranquil, and there's a lot of wind light settings that look really gorgeous here. Until next time.